Welcome to Vanguard Gifted Academy's educational channel. This is our first episode in a new series that we're doing on gifted education. I'm Elizabeth Blaetz, and I'm the head of school at Vanguard Gifted Academy. And for our first episode, I want to discuss with you why gifted education is kind of complex. Gifted education started kind of as a result of the industrial style of education. When they determined that every child would be educated based upon their age, they realized that there was a group of children who weren't being well served. The first ones that started a gifted educational program were Stanley and Brody. And these two worked with students who were outstanding in mathematics and science. They invented or established programs like we have today. And what they do is they look for students that are very strong in a domain, and then those students attend classes through the college. They're not college level classes, but they're classes through the college where they get an opportunity to work in the area where they're passionate or have their strength, and with peers who also are strong in that area. So these are opportunities for these gifted kids outside of the school day, on the weekends, or oftentimes in the summer. Rena Sabatkin is an amazing lady, and she studied musical prodigies. So her kind of key center on giftedness was these musical prodigies and what happened to them, because she noted that so many of these amazing young prodigies weren't coming into eminence as adults. And so in her study, she did a lot of work to say, what do they need? What do these prodigies need besides what's in their own domain, besides what they're really excellent at, in order to move that intellectual strength into a success as an adult. Then we have two educational psychologists who thought, we've got to get this in the school day. So Renzulli, his program was based not on a specific strength in a domain. His was based on how strong a student you were. And so these are opportunities within the school that offered pull-out programs. And many schools, many public schools today still have that pull-out program for gifted education. Those pull-out programs, according to Renzulli, are an opportunity for children who are achieving at the top of their class, who have persistence and willingness to stick with a problem, and creative thought to get together and do project-based learning, to work beyond the curriculum, but within the school day. Francois Garnier had a different idea about giftedness. He didn't specify the domain, but he realized that gifted children had potential, and it's based on the catalysts that impact that child while they're learning. So if you had somebody who was really very musical and interested in music, but never got reinforcement for their music or never had the opportunity to be involved in higher music education, that potential would just be squashed. And so, his model is all about putting the student in the environment that is going to release that potential and allow them to soar. And to him, then that results in talent. So let's go back to that question about elements of gifted education. The elements of gifted education are confusing to you because the people in the field of gifted education don't agree. They have different ideas of what giftedness is. And so with those different ideas comes different ways to serve the gifted child. All of these people do have something in common. They all realize that this is a small portion of the community. They also agree that these children need something in order for their gifts to bring them to eminence or bring them to the level of being called talented, and that support needs to come from some extra education or education within the school model. So for me, this really came to light because I was taking a master's program in gifted education with a group of teachers who were teaching gifted at the time. And so this was a really dynamic group of people, all passionate about gifted education. We got to talking and we got to analyzing our own schools and our own visions for giftedness, and realized that really the best service that we could do for gifted kids is to point them to the right school. And that each of us, instead of being competitors for gifted children, really were focused on serving a different gifted child personality. And that if we could do the very best that we could do, it would be to make sure that the right child went to the right school, because that would allow them to be the most successful. Thank you very much for listening to this first episode. I hope you'll stay tuned and listen to more. If you have any comments or any questions that you'd like to share with us, I'd love to hear from you. Thank you very much.